You're right. We're back. Dad's in recovery. It's Friday. Jesus, what day is it? Friday the 14th. So our deal is coming up on the 19th. 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from tomorrow. And men are starting to sign up. It's happening. I've talked to a lot of men. Holy Toledo. And who are dads in recovery. And for the most part, everybody's like, wow, what a great idea. The theme is that most men who are dads in recovery don't really have anybody to talk to about parenting. I reflect back on, several years ago. It was in the '90s for me when my kids were young, and I had three on the go, and and I was getting a lot of good advice, but mostly it was from their mums. God bless them. My kids had the best mums. They really did. But they weren't helping me really on being a good dad. They knew what they wanted from me, but it was from their perspective. And it was great, and honest to God, I was very blessed with good mothers of my kids. There's no question. I still love them. And of course my kids love their mums. But there's many men that I'm talking to who don't even have the gift of that. You know, in many cases, the mothers of their children are worn out with them. Being married to or having children with a practicing alcoholic is hard. Even as kind of a recovered alcoholic, I was in the '90s. I sobered up in the '80s, but still, I took a long time to grow up. And being in a marriage with me, raising kids wasn't an easy job. Headstrong and still quite adolescent. So anyway, having men, and I went out on my own and found some men that were part of an organization that were helpful to me. And they weren't necessarily in recovery, but they were dads, and they helped me a lot. And I went looking for men in that way to learn. My own dad was really pretty busy when I was number four in the brood. There was five of us. I was number four, and by the time I came along, I mean, sometimes if I didn't show up at home at night as a teenager, they didn't really miss me. I'm not saying that in a mean way. It was just that I was a bit of a wild one. Anyway, so dads in recovery, the community is really growing out of this. I didn't have a plan. I didn't start this with a plan. The plan is evolving, and men are saying to me that they want to be supported, and who's best to support men who are dads in recovery than other men who are dads in recovery. And so I'm just kind of in the middle of it all. And facilitating, if you will, and yes, I do one-on-one stuff with fellas, and I've got some online training going on, some online groups coming up, and we've got this dads in recovery thing. The day is going to be fabulous. I think I'm really looking forward to it. So if you know of a man who's a dad in recovery, and it doesn't really matter, I mean, I could really narrow it down, and because there's a lot of different groups. There's older fellas that are sometimes estranged from their kids, and they're in a lot of pain. They are in a lot of pain. Sometimes they're in recovery a long time, and sometimes they're not, but they're in recovery for a while, and they're on their second or third family, and there's kids that they don't talk to. That group by itself it could be, a community on its own. And there's younger men who are active as dads, and maybe they're out of the house. you know, the mother of their children got tired of having him as another child. Said, I can do this better on my own. I don't blame her. Sometimes we're just big kids. And, it takes us a while to grow up. And those fellas, there's a group that could be on their own, but we're going to put us all together, dads in recovery, young and old, and, support each other, build a community. So if you know of anybody like that, any man that you know of, your dad in recovery, or men, let's send them over to me. Let's get this started. And I think it has, there's such a big community. It affects so many people. Many of these fellas have 3 and 4 and 5 kids, and yeah. So let's do that. Send them over to me, and my my kids are older. Look at this. Whenever I get on camera, this little one comes over and she's like, "Oh, who you talking to?" It's my dog Lucy. Anyway, so love you guys, and send your men to me, and we'll get this rolling. And call me, text me, and I'll send you my number. And it's really, I think it's needed. I don't. My goal isn't to be a teacher in a way. It's to be a facilitator, to help men to realize how important their job is as a dad, how important it is. It's really friggin' important. Dads are important. And, I've done a lot of fifth steps with a lot of men. And often, the relationship they have with their dad is the big one, and so there's the next generation that's coming, and you're the dad for this next generation. And it doesn't matter what we've done or haven't done, the relationship can be rebuilt and healed. Love, we can inject love and light into this arena. That's it. My talk for the day. Yeah, pass this on. Follow my page on Facebook, or subscribe on YouTube if you're watching this there, or wherever you're seeing it. Love you lots, and love your kids. This is what a gift. I'm excited about how this is unfolding, and it is happening. Okay, join us. Love you lots. Cheers.